right, guys. Special edition. Yep. The playoff preview 2024. And all right, guys. As promised, the playoff preview. Basically, what we're gonna do here. These are not the High Council's picks. Normally, power rankings are done by the High Council. These are the commissioners, playoff predictions, previews, all that. And some would say that, the commissioner is a lot smarter than the High Council. Some would say that. So we're just gonna break it down, matchup by matchup. We're going to start with the technical real playoffs, and then we'll do the, what I would consider the more competitive playoffs, which is, me, Gavin, Trevor, and Connor. But we'll go by what people think are supposedly the real playoffs first. So, first matchup we got here is Liam and Evans. Now, they're both 8-6. Now, if I told you Liam was going to end at 8-6, in week 4, we'd be like, how? How is that possible? Well, it's because Liam didn't do shit. So, his team that was a God squad no longer is. That's why, and the line here, I like how they give us lines. It's Evans plus 11.5. Spreads, I'm putting the house on Evans, right? I think Evans' team is way hotter, all right? His team, honestly, on paper, yes, Liam probably edges him out, but not by enough to where, Liam would get the win, because it's Liam has a slight talent advantage, but Evans has the hot factor. His team is pretty hot right now. And Liam's kind of the opposite. Liam's pretty cold. I like a lot of Evans matchups. Liam's aren't bad, but I'm taking the points with Evans, and this is my commissioner's pick of the week. I'm taking Evans outright to win. I think Evans just beats him. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I'm taking the points with Evans and just an Evans outright win. Next one, we got Papa Sarm versus the most hated man in the league right now, Team Wortman. This one, they got Papa Sarm minus 10, 10.7. We're just going to call it 10.5. Dan, he took a hit without CMC, and DK's kind of fallen off, but Chase Brown and Saquon still elite running backs. He's got Kittle. Needs a big game out of Kittle Thursday. But is this even a question? Jake's team sucks. All right, he sold his soul to make playoffs, I guess. Congrats. I'm taking Dan minus 7.5 or 10.5. He covers. He probably beats him by 20, maybe 30. And Dan doesn't have phenomenal matchups, but Cup versus San Fran, I like that. I like Kittle in the same game. Saquon versus Pittsburgh isn't great, but he'll probably score. Chase Brown I do like versus Tennessee. So, Jake doesn't have terrible match. Now, hey, if Jake gets 30 out of Amon-Ra, then maybe. That was the only way he could beat me. But yeah, I'm taking the points with Dan for sure. I guess we're going to do this every week, probably instead of power rankings at this point, because power rankings are weird now. So obviously, there's 2 buys, Caleb and Cole. I guess I'll throw my prediction out there now. I think Dan still finds a way to win the whole damn thing. All right. We know the buys are cursed, and I know some people are going to be like, well, Connor won with the buy in the first year. Yeah, the first year was weird. All right. There were 13 games in the regular season, not 14. So that alone just makes it so it doesn't count, because then it's like everything gets pushed back a week. So yeah, the bye week, curse didn't affect Connor that year, but it's because it was really the next round curse. But it doesn't apply when, the bye is supposed to be week 14, but, basically the first year, it was a different year. It was an odd year, so that doesn't apply. Every other year, the two buys have not won. I think Cole could definitely, make it, just because who knows with Jamar and Joe Burrow. But I'm picking Dan as my outright winner, my pre-playoff prediction. I think Dan, I like his matchups. So I'm taking Dan. But every week I'm gonna keep doing these games. But now we'll go to honestly the more important playoffs. We'll start with me versus Connor. Now I don't want to say what our records are, because that's just kind of like, it's like a privacy thing. I don't think we need to know what everybody's record is. It's not that important. So me versus Connor, we won't worry about record. What we will worry about is how somehow I'm not in what's considered the real playoffs with, I don't know, top 3 roster in the league right now. But it's got me minus 10.5 versus Connor. A lot of big spreads. Me against the spread on the season probably hasn't been great, but I love my lineup. Finally, I have everybody, I'm at the point where, like, I might sit Jonathan Taylor because Rico Dowdle has become such a beast. Connor, his team's depleted. Swift kind of fell off, bad matchup. James Cook didn't fall off, but bad matchup. CD's kind of hurt. I don't know. He's still got Will Levis in his lineup, but I'm guessing that'll become Lamar. So I'm gonna take. Yeah, now that I think about it, Connor might update his lineup because he's got Lamar on his bench. Now maybe he won't see this video and won't do anything. But he's got Will Levis on his bench, in his lineup, and Lamar on his bench. So I'm gonna take me, minus 10.5, but if that, if he puts it in, I'm taking me to cover no matter what it is, essentially. That's how confident I am. But yeah, so I beat Connor, I cover. And Moss versus Trevor, actually the smallest, somehow, what the hell? Somehow the smallest line. I feel like Moss should be projected more than he is. I guess Moss might not have Bucky Irving this week, but Moss minus 7. I'm taking Moss over Trevor. Trevor just had a good week, which means he's bound to put up like 80 points this week. So although you know what, if Bucky Irving is out, Trevor has Rachaad White, he probably goes off. So that's a possibility, but as of now, I think Bucky's gonna play. So we're gonna take Moss. You know what? I'm starting to look at these matchups. I am actually changing my pick. I think Moss wins, but I think Trevor covers. Trevor's matchups are pretty great. Almost like across the board. Eesh, he's playing ETN though. I don't love that, but hopefully he takes ETN out of his lineup. God, this is tough, but no. All right, Moss is going to cover. Forget what I just said. If Trevor takes ETN out of his flex, then maybe I switch my pick, but with ETN playing, God no. Yeah, I'm going to take Moss to cover. So those are round 1 playoff predictions, guys. We'll do this again every week. But yeah, I guess I'll probably like keep a record of all my picks, and yeah, that's it.